Hey everyone, it's Matt aka Tech Ranger, and today we're going to take a look at my load order for Skyrim on the Xbox, specifically the Xbox Series X. While your mileage might vary, all these mods can work for the Xbox. So what we do in these videos, we take a look at the three major changes of my load order, and then we'll showcase those. And then we're going to talk about load order a little bit, and then also show the list at the end, and we'll have a spreadsheet down in the description down below if you guys want to just go and check out the links on Bethesda.net. This load order in particular was a little bit of a gut punch for me. I was used to playing Skyrim a certain way and like the fantasy look of Skyrim, but this kind of takes it to a whole new level, makes it look a lot more next gen than it did before. I actually showed this to a coworker and he thought it was a game that came out last year. It's actually not. It's actually a game that came out over 10 years ago. With that said, I'll have timestamps down in the description down below if you guys want to jump from one spot to the next, or if you just want to come back and take a look at the list in game. Definitely leave a like if you got some value out of this video, and subscribe if you want to see more of this stuff, because I make a lot of mod videos as well as other helpful, fun Xbox gaming videos. Thank you so much for watching, and let's jump into my latest load order for Skyrim on the Xbox. Haze 2 is probably the one mod that changes the most about this load order and the way it looks, and I love it. 278 new weathers added to the game, completely overhauled weather system, adds a lot of new volumetric lighting to the game, which looks really nice, especially when you're using something like enhanced lights and FX, which you can use with this. You just gotta load it before Haze. And the overall package just looks very next gen, almost Elden Ring like. And compared to our last load order, which we were using Mythical Wonders, it's a pretty big difference in terms of the way the lighting is in the game and the way the colors look. So for example, in that last load order video, I was using something like Pixar or Fantasy to make it look a little bit brighter and get those vibrant colors, whereas Haze 2 is going to be a little bit more muted, but an even look all throughout, which looks very cinematic. It really fits the fantasy vibe still, just in a different way. I don't think I've played enough to actually experience all 270 something weathers so far, but I've seen enough to make me think like, okay, wow, I'm so glad I did this. Nothing against Mythical Wonders, which we were using before. It's just a different vibe with this weather mod. And the other really cool thing is whenever you're walking into buildings and things, you actually see the sunlight coming from outside. And if you had the question of like, ooh, does this work with enhanced lights and FX? It does. Just make sure enhanced lights and FX is loaded under your weather mod. I usually tend to put my weather mods towards the top anyway, so enhanced lights and FX is always going to be under this one, but just thought I'd note that. And then obviously if you install something like this mid-save, you know, you might have some issues here and there, so it's best to start with a new save, as with most big mods anyway. Oh, and I also want to mention I was using realistic water, not Haze 2 water, just because it looks so good with the sunrise at around 7:50 in the morning. So what do you think of this weather mod? Do you like the vanilla look of it? Do you like how it mixes with other graphics mods? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you are using this as well. But let's take a look at our next showcase mod. Divergence is another really big addition to this load order, because previously I was using Old Kingdom, but basically it does a lot of the same things. It changes a lot of the armors and weapons in the game, and it's just a total overhaul of how everything looks. It adds these really special cube maps to each of the armors and weapons to make it look a little bit extra shiny. Let me know if you have tried this one before. I'm still kind of playing through it and seeing all that it has to offer. I eventually will make a video on Divergence alone, just like I did with Old Kingdom, but there's a lot, and there's also a lot of different versions of Divergence. It can be a little confusing for most, but what I gathered so far is there is an anniversary edition that is basically the free stuff that you got if you just updated your game since the anniversary edition came out, with like the Saints and Seducers and the fishing stuff. Then there is the Creation Club stuff as well, and what that is if you actually bought the upgrade to the anniversary edition, you just get all of the alternate versions of the armors that were included in the Creation Club content. Yeah, it's kind of a mouthful, but it's really cool so far. I'm really enjoying it, and I think it looks really good with the lighting that I'm getting from Haze 2. So are you using this one? Were you curious about testing it out, but you weren't sure where to start and what mod to install? Well, let me know in the comments down below, and with that, let's take a look at our last showcase mod. So last but not least, we have Voluptuous grasses, which we've used before, but this was before the anniversary update, so the performance with like the FPS boost at the time wasn't that great, and I ended up not using it. So I came back to this now since we do have the anniversary update with that better frame rate and all that, so I thought it would be a good time to circle back around to this one. I tried the low density version of this. There's actually 3 different versions, so I will link that down in the description under the showcase mods, just so you can pick one or the other, depending on how big your load order is and how many mods you have. You might want to use a lower density one just to make sure that your game doesn't chug. But Voluptuous grasses is basically a complete overhaul of grasses in the game. You're going to be seeing a lot of different grasses all over the game, depending on whether you're in a DLC area or not. You might see some different grasses there. So let me know if you're using something like that or if you're using another grass mod in the comments down below. That is going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to have the full list of the load order from top to bottom at the very end of this video. Performance overall has been pretty good. The only thing I noticed really was the grass mod, the Voluptuous grasses. It seemed like this would actually drop frames a little bit when you fast travel from one spot to the next. Not a big deal because it would actually just kind of smooth out after a while. I wanted to mention it even though I'm on the Series X. I still have some of those performance issues because Skyrim is still Skyrim. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Stay tuned until the end. If you guys want to see the load order from top to bottom, you can go ahead and click that link in the description and be taken to the spreadsheet with all the links to the mods on Bethesda.net. Thank you so much for watching once again. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.